My soul love Jesus, bless his name. Hallelujah. My soul love Jesus. My soul love Jesus. My soul love Jesus. Bless his name. Verse number 1. Now I, Paul, myself beseech you by the meekness and gentleness of Christ, who in presence am base among you, but being absent am bold toward you. But I beseech you that I may not be bold when I'm present with that confidence. What would I think to be bold against some which think of us as if we walked according to the flesh? Pay attention. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations, and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. Verse 6, and having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. Let the words of my mouth, the meditation of thine heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. Before you take a seat, look at somebody and tell them with some enthusiasm, amen, like you almost ordering them. Tell them, check your weapons. Check your weapons. You can consider second book of Corinthians and all these interesting concepts as a dialogue that Paul gave to the Corinthian church in theological manner in which to inform them that they must be prepared for whatever comes their way. Theologians teach this in school a little bit different than the evangelist would, because the theologian will teach it in school as a matter of concept of on a book knowledge. But the evangelist would preach and teach this on a spiritual basis. For we know that the weapons of our warfare. Tell somebody right quick, check your weapon. Check your weapon.
Check your weapon. Check your weapon.
I say that we must find in the interpretation of 2 Corinthians a question of discipleship and apostleship. We have to understand that when Paul was writing to the church, he was trying to bring the church in a cohesive manner as to bring them together. We have the proclivity among us to sometimes feel that we got it and nobody can tell us. All right, I'll keep going until he get it back on. What we find is in the book of Corinthians, they are upset with Paul's first letter because he found something wrong with it. He started in the first chapter and he went down through their confusion. He talked about how there was a lot of confusion in the church. Anybody know what I'm talking about? In the second chapter, he talked about their self-indulgence. And in the third chapter, he's dealing with the division in the church, the little cliques. I guess I better leave that alone. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. By the time he gets to the 5th and 6th chapter, he's talking about their sexual behavior. That came back. Nobody liked that. Then he began to deal with them around the 15th chapter. He dealing with the division and how they were ordering in the church and speaking in tongues, and there was no togetherness. Here in the 10th chapter, Paul said, I myself beseech you, by the meekness and gentleness of Christ, I'm trying to do this. But Paul said, the best way I can and not hurt nobody's feelings. It's important that we understand that because the human spirit that don't want to be told what to do. Can I say that again? I said it's important that we understand the human spirit does not want to be told what to do. That's right. We get real rebellious when we are commanded by the word what needs to be done to receive from Christ. This is where we have to get in a place that you know the opposition is not coming from man. Y'all quiet again tonight. You have to get to the place to where I dealt with God and I prayed and I asked God, Lord, which direction should I go tonight? This is what God brought me. I didn't understand quite why God was leading me this way, but now I know. Now I understand, because there needs to be some culpability amongst the people of God to recognize that when the Spirit of the Lord starts to move, you got to learn to be obedient to the move of God. Can I get away with this? You got to understand that the thing that you must do is not according to how you feel, but according to the Spirit of God. That's right. So I feel my help coming. Paul began to say to the church, he said, I want you to understand that the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. Come here, Pastor Paul, and break it down. Tell me what you mean. You said the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. What are you trying to get me to see? Paul said, come here, church. I want you to sit down and listen to me. Sit down and take time and hear what thus said the Lord. There is the word from the Lord. Therefore, he said that we right here, he said, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. But before he said that, he said, we walk in the flesh. We do not war after the flesh. See, the devil has the tendency to draw you out of the spirit. He has the way of moving you from thinking and operating in the Spirit of the Lord to operating in the flesh. Amen. And you have to understand that the Bible said, my sheep know my voice, and a stranger they will not follow. Amen. That's what Jesus said. So Paul said, amen, we walk not after the flesh. Amen. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God. Amen. Break it down, Pastor, and tell me, how is my weapon mighty through God? Amen. Let's go back to the old book. The old Bible said, amen, hold your peace. Amen. And let the Lord fight your battle. Amen. Go up a little bit farther. The Bible said, no weapon formed against ye shall prosper. Is that not what the Bible said? And every tongue that rise against thee in the judgment I shall condemn. Amen. Therefore Paul picked it up in Corinthians and said, amen, mighty through God. Amen. Let's break it down. How is it mighty through God? Amen. It's mighty through God because we have been washed in the blood of the Lamb. Can I get a witness here? Amen. I always say, people go around saying that the devil made me backslide. And I contradict that statement by saying that the devil can't make you backslide. Because when you in the Lord's hand, the Bible tells me, first of all, washed in the blood. Can I get a witness there? And before the devil can get to you, he got away through the blood. Can I get a witness there? Not only are you washed in the blood, amen, but he said you're sealed with the Holy Ghost till the day of redemption. And if he can get by that, he said, I am in my Father's hand. But before the devil can make me backslide, he got away through the blood. Then he got to tamper with the Holy Ghost. Then he got to take you out of God's hand. Out of time. He kept his way through the blood, tampering with the Holy Ghost, and touching God's hand. He be saying, praise the Lord, hallelujah, and thank God. See, that is power in the blood of Jesus. So when you come up with, check your weapons. Amen. We ought to understand in this battle we in, you cannot win this fight, good God Almighty, with a natural tongue. Get a witness here. You cannot win this battle. Can I get a witness here? With shotguns and pistols. You cannot win this battle. Can I get a witness here? Fussing and fighting. The only way to win this battle for the Lord, check the weapons tonight. Can I get a witness? I'm going to check my weapons tonight. The first thing Here's my prayer life. Can I get a witness here? All the time of death. Pray without ceasing. Yeah. The Bible said. The Bible said. The Bible said. The Bible said. When men ought to pray and not sing. Yes. I heard it sing in the book of Chronicles, 7th chapter and the 14th verse. If my people, which are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray. Yes. Now I've got my prayer life checked. I gotta keep on checking my weapons. The next weapon I gotta check. Can I get a witness here? My tongue. Can I get a witness here? I gotta make up my mind. Tell the Lord, Lord, proud of my tongue. James said, it's a small member, when it satisfies the whole force of nature. Yes. Now, I got my tongue checked. I gotta check my heart. I heard the Bible say, David said, create in me a clean heart. Yeah. Now, I got my heart checked. I need to check my spirit. Can I get a witness here? I heard David say, create in me a clean heart and renew in me a right spirit. Yeah. I gotta check out where I need to go. Anybody here tonight need to check your weapon. Yeah. Put up the fist. Put up the gun. Put up the knife. Shut up the tongue. Put it on your knees. Tell the Lord, I'm your child. Take me. Make me. Mold me. Shape me. Yes. Paul, after Paul got through dealing with church, the Bible tells me that he had fought a battle and he had been shipwrecked. God Almighty, I wish I had more time. I'm trying to crown a gallon into a pan. Paul said, I've been shipwrecked. I heard Paul say, except you abide in the ship, no flesh will be saved. Amen. He kept on checking. Can I get a witness here? He kept on checking. And I heard Paul say, he said, no weapon. Not only he said that I am persuaded that neither death nor life nor principality nor power nor spirit of nothing shall separate me from the love of God. Can I get a witness here? What Paul was trying to tell the church was I made up my mind. I done checked off what I need to do. I done checked off where I need to go. I done checked off what I have done. I checked off what I stopped doing. I checked off all the things in my life that not pleasing in the sight of God. After he got to check it off everything in life, I heard Paul say, I fought a good fight. I kept the faith. And I tell you, somebody here tonight now, when you check the weapons out, when you check out your own life, the first thing you gotta do is look deep down on the inside and make up your mind that I'm gonna clean up what I messed up and start my life all over again. You gotta tell yourself that I'm not what I used to be. I'm not what I ought to be. But thank God I'm cleaning up all around here. I've left up my mind. For God to live, for God to die. Yeah! I need somebody right now that believes that it is exactly right. Amen. Lord God, Lord God, can I get a witness here? Can I get a witness here? Lord God, can I get a witness here? You gotta be sheep. What you got in you gone. Can I get a witness here? Get ready. There's a change coming. Get ready for a shift in the atmosphere. Get ready. I said get ready for healing is on the way. Get ready. Deliverance is on the way. Get ready. Get ready. Somebody wrote a song a long time ago. They said people get ready. People get ready. I want to tell the church tonight, church, get ready. Church, lay your time. So he sets you and it started running. I said not tiptoeing through the tulips. They started running for Jesus. Run in the morning. Run in the noonday. Run when you don't feel like running. Run. Anybody here tonight